This program, actually, we're going to practice using switch statement. And a switch statement replaces a lot of if statements or if then else. So it's a nicer way to use sometimes, or to clean your program. So for example, let's say you're attending a college and you plan to graduate in 4 years. So if we ask you, what year are you on campus? If you say year 1, you're a freshman, year 2, you're a sophomore. So we want a program to tell us, by putting the number of year, tell us if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior. So let's begin by asking that. Cout, how many years have you been attending? We're going to read that. Cin. And I forgot to define a dummy variable to hold that. We'll call it years. I got to go and define it. I can define it up there. I can define it as long as before I use it. int years. So we're going to read that. Let's put color spaces there. Cout /n/n. And now we're going to use a switch statement. Switch. And for the switch, I'm going to be using the variable years. So that's going to tell me where, here we go, curly bracket to begin, curly bracket to close. Case 1, if you put 1 for the years, what are you going to do? I'm going to do color things here. Cout, you are a freshman. Or fresh woman, and go to the next line, /n/n, give a couple of extra spaces there. And that's the end of it. Oh. And if that's the only thing you want to do, you want to put a break here, because if you don't put a break, it goes to the next one. Then if it's case 2, that means year 2, can't talk now. Let's copy and paste. You are a sophomore. Case 2. Then we'll do case 3. Command V. You are a junior. And case 4. Command V. You are senior. And what about if somebody puts 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? So the default for the rest of them. Oh, I have break twice here. The word break should have been here too. I'll explain what break does. I'll show you an example of that in a second. So default value, anything else that if you don't put, if you write anything else, negative number, Cout, maybe I wanted to say invalid year. Let's say that's a year. You type in something invalid. Semicolon. You don't have to put a break for the last one. So just to show you, see if it works. File, save, run it. Give it a few minutes, an hour. There we go. So year 7, that's an invalid. invalid here. I should have had /n/n to go to the next line, just spaces. Let me save it again. Let's run it. Let's say I type in year 2 here. I'm a sophomore if I type in year 2. You are a sophomore, 2 new lines and ends. Now the reason we put a break here, watch this. Let's take the break out. Save this one. That's for case 1. Let's say case 1. It says you are a sophomore, but if you go higher there, it's going to write both of them. It's going to do this statement, then it's going to go and do this one, then get out of the loop there. So that's why you need the break there. So let's try a different example. What about if you want the program, we'll continue with this instead of just 1, 2. What about if you want to put like grading? So cout, enter, enter your average. I forgot define average. int average. Your average is 75. What about if your average is decimal value? Then you can convert that to an integer value. So what about if you want to say, for example, if your average is above 90, you have an A. Well, now we got a problem. Let's see. Switch. I got to put here the condition average greater than or equal to 90. Oh, my mistake here. Use the word average. Here we go. If the average, if you want to say if the average is greater than or equal to 90, the grade is A. Well, you can't do that here. You can't write case greater than you can't write greater than or equal to 90 here. Let's say, just to show, it's already giving me a syntax error. Here's a semicolon here. So I'm getting a syntax error. So what you want to do in a case like this, probably create a new variable called int avg equals, I think there's a built-in function that will get the integer value, the integer of average, and you divide it by 10. So even if this one is really a double here, it will take the integer value of that, and I'm going to use avg now here instead of average. So case 1 equals to 9 because you're going to divide it by 10. That means you got a 90. Oh, avg lower. Here we go. If it's 9 or 10, case 9, case 10, not equal to. If the answer of that is 9 or 10, that means you have a 90 or 100. So what do you want to do? Cout your grade is A. /n, I forgot the double quotation before and after. Maybe I'll put beginning of that /n just to move the cursor one line. Then break. So if it's 9 or 10, do that. Oh, there we go. Copy that. Case 8. Oh, I forgot to grab this one to the break. And break. If it's in the 77, your grade is C. Case 6, your grade is D. And any other ones, your grade is F. I get another break here. Default. Your grade is F. 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s. So if, instead of saying case 5, 4, case 5, case 4, case 3, case 2, like we did here, instead of doing that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you got the default value. Oh, I have a default here. I just gotta. Okay, let's try that and see how that works. So how many years have you been attending? Let's say 4 years. You're a senior now. You are a senior. Enter your average. Oh, I never read the average, I bet you. Enter your average. So I never read the average. We had 0 for an average. So let's read the average. CN average. Then we convert that. I forgot to read that one. Let's move this up just to see it. You are third year, you're a junior. Into your average, 85.6. That's a B. Your grade is B. Run it. You're a freshman. Your average was 70.2. That's a C. Your grade is C. Run it. You are a second year and your average is 40. That's an F. Your grade is 5 instead of F. I think I wrote 5 in the bottom one. Oh, yep, should be F, not 5. Let's try that. 2, and you get a 45 average. Your grade is F. So the program is working. So if you have multiple ways, like that's a smart way of doing that. Now you can have a Boolean value for that. Just to give you an example, let's say this program only runs, you want to make sure you're over the age of 21. So cout, enter your age. Maybe I'll put a line before. Well, no, I don't need that. Semicolon. CN age, and I forgot to define age. Usually when people say, how old are you? Go, I'm 21. You don't go 21 point at INT age. So you enter the age. And now I'm going to use the age. But here's what I'm going to do. If I want to use the age, I really can't say if you're over 81, you're an adult. So I can say switch. And the statement I'm going to use, age, is the age greater than or equal to 21? Well, let's do 18 because 18 you are considered adult. So what the machine is going to do is going to actually perform this operation. And this is a Boolean operation. Is the age bigger than 18? Yes or no, true or false. So now we can say curly bracket to open it, should be curly bracket to close it. Case true. If it's true, that means you are over. So you can have a Boolean value. Cout, not cut, cout. What are we going to say? Old enough to vote. Go to the next line. And also I want you to say cout old enough to drink. Oh no, 21. So enough to serve in the military. Next line. So do both of them. Write both of them, then break. If it's false, case false, cout slash new line, not old enough to vote. Two new lines. And that's it. You know what I should have done? I should have put a nested. That would be a cool one. Wait. Let me just fix this. This is actually fine. Let me just show you. This is fine. But I'm going to modify it. I just thought of something here. I'm in the third year. I'm a junior. My average is 76. That's a C. How old I am? 22. I'm old enough to serve and vote. Old enough to vote, old enough to serve in the military. Done. Run it again. Run. I'm a fourth year. Average is 98. That's an A. And my age is 21. Old enough to vote. Yep, serving them good. So what about if I was talking about drinking here? I start doing drinking. I said, wait a minute, you can't. You got to be over 21 to drink. So I can put a switch within a switch. So before that break statement, if I want to say I can do here before that break, I can do another switch statement, switch. Check to see if the age is greater than or equal to 21. Again, that'll be true or false. So if you are over 18, it's going to write both of these automatically. But it's going to come to this one and is going to tell us now Here we go, curly bracket. What do you want to do here? If it's case true, old enough to drink. We'll just change that. Copy. Command V. Old enough to drink here. And break after that. Copy these. Case false. Command V, not old enough to drink. And break. So the first condition, the age, are you more than 18, is going to write both of these. Then it's going to come right here. If you're over 21, you're going to say, are you old enough to drink? If you're not, you're going to add that. So one of these two lines will be added to these two. But case false for that one, not old enough to drink, not old enough. You can write multiple things if you want to. Not old enough to vote, not old enough to drink. What is it? Copy. Not old enough to drink, and also see out. What's the other one? To serve. Not old enough to serve. And go next line, next line. And since that's the last one, I don't need to write break out of this. If you put it, that's fine, but there's nothing else left in the program. So if you want to put break here, that's fine. But notice there's nothing after that, just terminate. So that's why this is not needed. Here, if you don't put it, it goes and does these things. So that's a switch within a switch. Let's see what's going to happen. Give it a few minutes. I am 20 years old, so I'm 20, not 21. I am 20 years old, so I'm old enough to vote. I'm old enough to serve, but not old enough to drink. That's what I should see. I am, oh, this is for the number of years. I forgot. Average 85, yeah. The age 20. That should say I'm old enough to vote, I'm old enough to serve, but not old enough to drink. And it did. Run it again. I am, let's see, I'm a third year. I'm only 17 years old. I'm a genius. Here we go. Oh, that's the grade. I'm not a genius. Not old enough to vote, not old enough to drink, not old enough to serve, and it's done. Oh, I have an extra character here. Right there, I can see it. And all three of them. Third year, I'm 30 years old. Your grade is 95. That's an A. And your age is 30. Old enough to vote, old enough to serve in the military, old enough to drink. So that's a switch within a switch.